My name is Shuji Madama. I'm a PhD student of Kyushu University in Japan. Today, I will explain the outline of our paper, Co-Creation of a Digitalized Aftermarket Service Model, a Case of Truck Tires. The agenda of this presentation is as shown in the screen, starting with introduction, followed by a theoretical lens, case studies, discussion and conclusion, and finally future direction. Let's start with the introduction. In a rapidly changing competitive market, some firms are taking the approach that exceed existing business boundaries. This paper intends to clarify the contents of the firm's capabilities to respond to these environment changes, taking the case of trucking industries in Japan. As for the theoretical lenses, the resource-based view and dynamic capabilities are taken. We see the activities of tire suppliers with a viewpoint of capabilities for sensing, sizing, and reconfiguring the internal and external competencies that may lead to co-creation. Firstly, let me explain why we think that the Japanese trucking industry is suited to the discussion in this paper. Truck transportation in Japan is the main and core method of goods transportation. It is an important societal infrastructure. However, the market has decreased in the last 20 years significantly on a tonnage basis and has been flat on a ton-kilometer basis. The trucking operators are mainly small and medium-sized companies, and thus there is a complicated multi-contract structure. Furthermore, fierce regulatory pressure to improve truck drivers' working conditions is to increase already the highest operation cost of truck operators. Firms in this paper are trying hard to find a way to stay competitive by utilizing their capabilities. So we think it is meaningful to introduce their activities. Let me explain a little bit more detail about the industry. As explained in the previous page, trucking transportation is Japan's main and core method of goods transportation that represent around 90% of the total in 2018. From 1998 through 2018, there's a decrease in the private shippers-owned fleet, lead to the shift to hired commercial fleet transportation. And these commercial fleets are mainly small and medium-sized trucking operators. And as a result, this industry structure became the multi-contract business structure. The Japanese government acknowledges the poorer working condition of truck drivers. The wage level is lower and their working hours are longer. So the government is trying to improve the situation. However, for the truck operators, the truck driver's cost is already a highest operating expense of around 39% in 1918 in the national average. And the amendment naturally result in further pressure to truck operators' profitability. The enforcement of the law is scheduled in 2024, and trucking operators call this as a 2024 problem, as a threat of business continuity. Now, let us discuss truck operators' cases. 2 truck operators are interviewed. One is a subsidiary of a large auto parts manufacturer, and the other is an independent operator specialized in delivery of printed materials. We find for both of them, tire cost only represent a few percent. While operator A is stable with a backup from the mother company and concentrate to improve their operations, operator B, on the other hand, has a greater sense of crisis. They have diversified their business by taking on process business from their upstream customers. They are also taking a different approach for the deployment of digitalized system. Let us discuss a little bit about tire suppliers' cases. In tire industry, some major tire suppliers' approach is notable. They are moving into a new business field of digitalized fleet management with an intention to obtain vehicle operation data to optimize tire contributions. For example, Bridgestone acquired TomTom's digital fleet solution business in 2019, and Michelin also acquired several fleet management business in the last 10 years. Here, we explain a little more in detail of the operator A's actions. Their position as a sub-subsidiary of an auto parts manufacturer determines their countermeasures within the framework of their existing trucking operations. Since a majority of their business is somehow guaranteed by the mother company, they can take this approach and also can appeal the backup from the mother company when recruiting for drivers. That is generally in short in this industry. However, the mother company may pull away from owning the private trucking operations and may move away toward contract transportation hiring. That's the reason why they are pressed to make the improvement within their business boundary. In case of operator B, the business segment they are in is different. It has long been said that digitalization will expel the paper printings, since they are specialized in delivery of printed materials. Their approach is to strengthen relationship with customers by adding values, taking the customer's cumbersome and non-cooperation processes. Their stance for IT investment is that they invest only when they can expect good return on investment. That is somehow different from the stance of operator A, who is enjoy using the digital tachometer for their administration purpose. In the case of tires, although tire cost in total operating expense is just a few percent and is not too significant for trucking operators, some tire suppliers are trying to prove the contribution of tires in a unique way. Their acquisition of fleet management company is to obtain vehicle operational data, and by combining the data with tire data, they think they can propose to optimize vehicle operations as well as tire consumption. Fleet management system may also visualize their tire contribution of their tire brand and prove the comparative advantage against competitive tire brands. It is essential to find and understand how these tire suppliers sensed and seized the necessity of acquiring fleet management system companies, and how they will reconfigure the integration. What capabilities within them enable and promoted these activities. Also, even if they have secured the access to the data through specific fleet management system, there are still challenges of more wider common data usage across multi-brand truck users through multi-brand carrying service chains across the value chain of tires. They also have to be profitable in fleet management business, although the business is new to them. This approach may require the new capabilities for tire suppliers, which might be leading to the possibility of competition with competitors and or co-creation with value chain suppliers, even with public authorities. The chart in this page summarizes the implication from the cases. We can see that there are a variety of firms' capabilities, either static or dynamic, to sustain competitive advantages in the rapidly changing situation of the market. Even in the limited cases in this paper, the necessity of obtaining and retaining new capability to cope with rapidly changing market environment and the effect of digitalization are foreseen. Some may stay internal and some may come from external through alliance and co-creation. Our objective is profoundly research this capability to understand the logic leading to co-creation. These are the references from the theoretical lens, and thank you for your attention.